Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Project Athena, brought to you by Opportunity League and Jess Goat, also sponsored by XMG and the 1000 Dreams Fund. My name is Grace, and I am joined here by Novi Tuva Kane. That was me being cool. Sorry, Novi. I do. You know what? Fine. I tried, okay? I've tried to be cool.
You
I've tried
peaked
to
with
be
the Viking helmet, all right? You're not going to beat that intro. It's not going to be topped.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm not a very cool person. I accept that. I accept my fate as a...
Nor am I, don't worry.
As a large dog. But it be like that sometimes. We are going to get stuck into our last matchup of this evening. We're going to have Gypsy Queens versus Lost Souls. This is going to be an interesting one, Novi.
Yeah, both teams. I mean, Gypsy Queens, for lack of a better term, got slapped about a little bit last week by Frenemy. They really put them through the ringer. Lost Souls Esports, they did better than Gypsy Queen. They lost 7-4. I'm trying to look who they played against. It was Randy's. I seem to remember them having a couple good rounds and it looking pretty decent here and there, but just not quite to the same caliber. For both these teams, they've had a whole week to prepare. They've had a whole week of, like you said, being able to look at the VODs of last week as well, and depending on the map, potentially gain some insight, adapt their own gameplay. So there's a lot can change. But one of these teams is going to get a win. Both these teams are currently winless. They're sitting on 0-1. And they will join, I believe, there's Nemesis on 0-0-2. So, but at least Nemesis has 1 point for that overtime as well. So one of these teams will be at the bottom of the leaderboard by the end of that map.
Yeah, and that's not a great place to be. But as we say, it's only Playday 2. Still a lot to be done. And again, I think this evening, certainly we've seen a little bit more of a mix up with map picks and things like that. A few more maps coming through the cracks as opposed to last week where everyone was just playing it safe with Oregon pretty much. But if we can have a look at the map bans for this final match of the evening.
Yes, Oregon straight out there.
Where are we going to
go? All right, I'm a Gypsy Queen fan now. Gypsy Queens all the way. First ban Oregon. I respect it. Coastline. Oh, I just hit my lampshade. Coastline. Yes.
My favorite map of all time is indeed Coastline. It is. I love the attack-sided maps, as I said earlier when we were interviewing Shanice. But also with Coastline, it is the smallest map in the entire map pool. It is literally a box of death. It is hell in a cell. It's just, honestly, it's my favorite. Like, this is I want to see the spawn peaks. I want to see the window peaks, the spawn peaks, the runouts. I want to see it. This is the time where you get aggressive. Again, especially because it's attacker-sided. If you are a defender, you do want to be using that aggression. You want to be doing that, or you're just going to be sitting ducks, essentially. Especially if they start bringing global utility. That's when things will get very, very spicy. A lot of the time, people bring things like lions, things like that, to help pressure these balcony areas onto those kind of upper floor sites, as an example. This is going to be an interesting one. I'm really curious to see how these teams are going to play it.
I also like the fact that with Coastline, the small quality of life adjustments, the change of removing the window into VIP to soft walls, I think is really interesting. Makes VIP a lot more dynamic to play around, both as an attacker and a defender. I also like the change of the little window in the corridor outside VIP. I think that makes it a lot more consistent for defenders. Beforehand, it was pretty much, all right, I've set everything. I guess I'm just standing here for the rest of the round because it's the only safe spot on the entire map. So it gives a little more movement to the defenders and balances it out. And also, my main thing, because it's been a bugbear of mine for so long, the fact that I can go off the roof straight down onto VIP balcony. Huge, huge. I no longer have to go all the way down and then back up again. Blows my mind that it's taken this long to get there, but we're here. So genuinely, thank you, Ubisoft. Is saved my ranked experience. Just looking at the bans though, Flores, we've seen him come through again, but he's not going to be saved through the operator banning stage. Gets taken off out of play, but the Wamai as well. First time I've seen him banned today.
It makes sense. You've taken away the Thatcher and the Flores as that, extra utility destruction. Of course, the EMPs and those Flores drones will just clear any choke points, any utility setup. If you then ban out the Wamai as well, of course, it's only Jaeger ADSs left, which means that obviously those cap towers can come through if you choose to use them. Nomad air jabs won't be caught out. It's just going to be ADSs to essentially be those defensive lines for those choke points. And this is where things are going to get very spicy. Of course, the Valkyrie getting banned. And here's that Lion. Yes, okay, we're already getting... I'm so excited. We're already getting stuck in with a Lion on coastline. And this is what I wanted to see. This is 100% what I wanted to see. We're also seeing the Rook and the Thunderbird. If they don't take advantage of that health and armor boost here and go for these spawn peaks, I am throwing my mouse out the window. Like, oh my goodness gracious. There's that Capitao as well. This is what I mean. Novi, it's going to get really spicy now, and I'm completely here for it. Let's have a good one.
There's also no utility denial. No Jaeger. There's not even a Rooney, the Sharia gates as well. So those grenades, I kind of upset that Raz swapped out from the operator, who I've completely forgotten who she picked beforehand and picked off on CIQ. They had grenades. So maybe that's in part of the read. The Oryx, like the Skylia, should be interesting. An operator we don't see too much. His whole ability, I remember when he got announced, everyone was like, oh, he's going to be so good at roaming because he can jump through the hatches, he can just break through anything. But on coastline, like you said, incredibly small map. Not a huge amount of maneuverability, but then I guess as a defender, if you can jump up a hatch, you don't need to rotate to the other side of the map just to get up. And here's that. Oh, are we about to see that spawn peak? Yes, we are.
Yes!
A swing out, and there we go. Skylia takes first blood.
Completely here for that. This is exactly what I wanted. First blood being a run out on coastline nonetheless. We do love to see it. We really do. They start making their way towards this Hall of Fame VIP area. A very classic way to approach taking the top floor is killing all of that kind of VIP penthouse control and then making the slow collapse from that kind of northeastern side and kind of consuming the entire top floor. Of course, you have some little claymore action in pocket as well, so you can be covering these stairs very easily, if not just using flank drones, but also with those claymores as an extra bit of cover. So nice little setup so far. Nice little setup.
Could have had a more extended, for the defenders, extended setup into VIP using that outside reinforced wall. They've gone for the more classic setup of reinforcing that one corner, which has been opened by the Hibana, so there's a line of sight through. It's going to start applying some pressure onto the Gypsy Queens. The Angel's looking through that hatch, and of course Thunderbird brings a Nitrocell in her arsenal, so has the ability to ping a couple of attackers through the floor, because the Valkyrie was taken out of action. It's not really an option for them. Now we get into this tense period where both have sort of entrenched themselves and got lines of sight on things. They're like, okay, we're happy, but don't quite have the advantage to just pull the trigger and go for the execute. We still know that there's still 4 left. We still know that they have Nitrocells. We still know that they have all this, and this. And they need to find that advantage, and that's a great way to do it. Lost Souls pinging the Rook through the soft wall, and that's going to cause some issues. Or the Flame Bolt is going to tear Yizia apart, and now they've got to set up for the default plant.
Absolutely, they fully send the defense away from that. Oh, Pink getting the nice little wall bang though on Fairy, but the Lion drone is going to come through as that plant gets stuck. It is in the default place. All they have to do is swing out, but the cover is there. The cover is there if they need it, and that is significant downs. It's all left down to Skylar now on the Oryx. Very, very difficult position to be in. Obviously, it is a post plant here. And there we go. Pink Angel managing to get revived by the Thunderbird utility. It's now, well, Actually, I don't think they're aware of these players being down here.
Yeah, I don't think they were
Now
aware,
they
but the defenders had 2 players down, and the attackers had 2 players down. The difference was the defenders could use that Thunderbird gadget, and actually you could see the line was not expecting the Legion to be rest at all. They knew that the Legion had gone down, and they thought, I don't have to worry about that anymore. Legion comes back alive, and then suddenly that 1v1 turns into a 2v1, and without it, that could have gone very, very differently. Well done by Lost Souls, but not quite good enough.
I think this is the thing, though. It's kind of the idea of like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So I do think Lost Souls are aware that they may be going against the Thunderbird now. So the finish off is certainly going to be a priority here. Really good going from both teams there, to be honest. And this is exactly what I wanted to see. We're already getting just such amazing aggression and amazing teamwork from both sides. It's really, really nice to see. And again, to win out the post plant, chef's kiss. I'd love to see it for the side of GYPSY Queens right now. I really, really dislike when teams do this. When they have that rotate into lobby. It's like a pet peeve of mine on this map. But a lot of teams try and do it, and it's just kind of like, I get it, but also you really need to maintain that lobby control. You need to be having someone playing upstairs around kind of penthouse white stairs, just in case the attackers do get that entirety of lobby control, because then you're leaving yourself so open to be collapsed into from that area. And if you don't have someone upstairs to flank down and help you deal with it, it can be very, very difficult.
Now, going towards kitchen, the approach, the classic El Clasico approach, is to sort of go upstairs, get VIP control, move over to Core Vibes and Hooker to then get Sunrise control, push it from the floor and above and the window all at once, so you sort of capitalize on that westward direction. You can get the plant down, cover it from multiple angles, or you can go for the other classic, which is using like a Monty or something and just brute forcing your way through the front service door. We're actually seeing a more lateral approach, going straight for Sunrise and just trying to contest through the main door into the kitchen. Suddenly that open soft wall might cause them a couple issues. It's Pink Angel, though, takes first blood.
Absolutely. And so far, it's again, really good going. I think they're getting the opening pick every single time on the defense, and this is exactly the kind of thing I wanted to be seeing, because again, it is an attacker-sided map, and you have to be aggressive on the defense to deal with that. It's such a tiny map. You are just at constant threat all the time of just being run up upon. You have to be aggro on the defense, or you're literally just asking for trouble.
Have to be offensive. Or on the offense, not necessarily offensive. I don't think shouting obscenities is going to help you in this sort of situation. Use bullets, not words. I don't know. No, maybe that's not the best motto to live your life by. Maybe it is in Siege. Stelenia is going to use her bullets effectively. Pink Angel goes down to Raz, so that's a 3 versus 4. No love lost between those two. Now, Lost Souls have to try and get a little bit closer and start pinching these defenders out. And Shelia, or Ganashelia, is tagged a little bit. But of course, the wonderful Thunderbird gadget brings her back up to a healthy level. Lost Souls, less than 30 seconds remaining to make their approach.
I think it's the thing. I'm wondering if, like, throughout the season, we'll start to see teams kind of just trying to get rid of that utility in the ban phase, just because of how annoying it can be so far for a lot of teams. And, ooh, really nice shot there by Raz, taking down Skylar. 3v3 now, evening it up nicely. Raz is going to get a second onto Yazia as Drake and Raz finish this off. A really clean final collapse into the site, ultimately winning those gunfights.
Ooh. There we go. Couple nice kills here and there. works in their favor. Gypsy Queens going to be questioning their approach on that defense, sticking with the mirror, so probably going to see the same lobby hold. But the clash, Grace, the clash, will it be picked off?
Do you know what? I hope not.
Ah,
no, yeah. I mean, for an alibi, that's fair. You need the shield.
You like out. No,
they
don't
need
do
the
this.
shield. They need the
this
shield
is,
for service entrance, man. They need the shield. It's a nice
as well. Like
I'm doing the Italy hand thing at you. We need the shield for the service entrance. Okay, you have it by that bomb. You have the rotate behind you.
You have a shield with clash.
But then they have to reinforce this lobby wall here. All of it. I don't want that rotate again. Like I'm just throwing my head out the window if they do it. But they're doing it.
Go on,
okay,
throw your head out the window. Go on, do it.
That was me popping my head off. And now I'm throwing it.
Right.
There we are.
So, alright, Sin counter for today. Up to 6 now.
You know what? It is what it is. But
Grace's sins.
In fact, fair enough. They haven't done an actual full rotate hold. It looks more like a C4 hold. Okay, I'm happy with this then. Fair enough. But I just really hope that doesn't come back to bite them. And the mirror window as well. Okay, yes. Okay, no. I take it back. Fair enough. I like that aggression.
I've put the tally down. You can't change that.
You can change pen and paper. You can. You can get a rubber. You can rub it out. Rub it out, man.
It's a pen.
Rub it out.
It's a pen. Fine. I can't rub it out.
Tipex.
Fine. Tip exit. Sorry,
Tip
hold
exit.
on 1 second.
Gonna probably see a little bit of top floor control get gained so they can start working that verticality and all the but a Goldie. We do love how standard everyone has been this evening, and I think that is very evident of everyone's knowledge of the game as well. I think it shows that every single team knows this game very, very well, especially at a competitive level. I do think that so many of these women's leagues, especially this year, it's just the competitiveness has just gone up by miles. And oh my god, some of these wall banks this evening. Pink Angel falling there. And again, here we go. This verticality coming through these breaching pads. But verticality can be used both sides. Again, Sheeta's going to take down Drake for a nice little C4. 4 versus 4, Novi.
Very, very even Stevens at the moment. Imagine they're looking for that VIP control to then open up those vertical angles. The mirror is going to be pressured off the wall by Meep. The lineup! You could have just body shotted her, but it just didn't quite work out. The mirror gets the best. Easier. Those frag grenades coming in, and there we go. That's what happens. Do not have a Jaeger, the Wamai's band. But she's going to get rezzed back up by her own gadget. The Thunderbird is really coming into play here. This kind of shows that you can kind of survive the utility by using that Rook Thunderbird combination. It's quite effective in that regards. Now Fairy, the last of the Lost Souls, looking for any kind of angle. And the Capital brings a lot of utility. I don't think it's going to be enough. If she swings too wide, there we go. And Shilia takes her out. And just like that, we have the Gypsy Queens taking the lead once again.
I really, really love how much, again, that Thunderbird and Rook utility, but especially when it comes to that vert play, because attacking that site and then getting the vert upstairs in the kind of VIP and penthouse area, it's so difficult to deal with as a defender. You have to use C4s, and then if you miss your C4s, it's essentially just having a gunfight through a floorboard. But having that extra health and armor utility is absolutely coming in clutch on multiple of these sites. So many of these sites, and again, I'm going forward throughout the season. I think we are probably going to end up seeing a lot more of it because it seems to be really working for a lot of these teams. Very interesting stuff indeed. Much to think about.
Now, the good old hooker billiards hold. Are we going to see a bit more of an extended hold into VIP? I don't think we are. Opting to reinforce that close wall, which of course was opened by Hibana. Maybe it's just because of the hold they've got uses too many reinforced walls. No, they could. They have the option for it. They have enough. They could also reinforce that outside VIP, they may as well. You stick one mute jammer on there, and then suddenly it causes quite a few problems, and at least buys a little time. I'm loving how much we're seeing Thunderbird though. It always upsets me when we see a new operator come in and then they're just never used until one team picks it up and then everyone starts copying it. I like the fact that, despite the fact that a lot of the teams in this league are, today, especially showing their fundamentals, sticking to meta picks, they use that fundamental knowledge and then expand outwards by experimenting with the Thunderbird Rook combination. We are seeing evolution of strategy as we go through these weeks already in just 2 play days, and can't imagine what we're going to look like meta wise 3, 4, 5 weeks down the line. And now we see VIP control is taken over by Lost Souls, no contention by the Gypsy Queens, but there is a Thunderbird underneath with a C4.
Yeah, that can cause a lot of damage potentially. We'll see what happens there. No doesn't quite land on anyone for now. I will say it would be interesting to see if they kind of swapped around the Habana, especially now we have things like secondary hard breach. I think realistically on Coastline, historically we have never really needed a hard breach too much. And I think maybe it'd be interesting to see even like an Ayana as an example over the Habana, but Selena is going to take down Habana anyway, so all those X-Kairos will go to waste regardless. More overhealing coming through from that Thunderbird utility as well. Yazir's going to take down a Drake, so it's now a 3v5, but Genshida's going to take a significant amount of damage as they take down Rez, making this, again, a 5v2. It's an interesting one, though, because, again, that Thunderbird utility, she'll get healed up immediately. It's so powerful. And it's completely changed the way that Coastline can be played, almost. Because again, if you consider the fact that before Thunderbird, a lot of these rounds would have gone a lot differently when you consider how many downs there's been, how much people have lost a load of health. This has completely changed the way that this map plays.
Ooh, flawless round. The defenders are just getting stronger and stronger. Gypsy Queens, they looked lost last week. I cannot say the same for them this week. They look like they have a game plan. They know exactly what they're doing. And they're just executing it pretty much to perfection. Especially that last round. They look so strong. They don't even... This is the first time where I've gone, oh, there's no Jaeger. There's no, this, that, or the other. And actually, I'm like, they don't need it. Sure, they brought a Jaeger. It would be nice. But they don't need it. That combination with the Thunderbird, the Rook, is so effective, and Lost Souls isn't capitalizing on the fact that the Jaeger's not being brought. Are we actually going to see? Ooh, put the helmet back on. Do it.
It's not quite the Changa's helmet, although I really do actually want that helmet. It's a powerful statement. A lot of the Russian military uniforms actually quite, it's powerful. Very powerful indeed. But yeah, that is a bold pick, and it was, I'm not sure whether they meant to 6-pick off it or whether they were like, no, it's just playing around with it now. But again, it works kind of in a way similar to kind of those toxic babes on the smoke. It's holding people back. It's preventing the plant from going down sometimes as well, especially if you can take a really long line of sight and a very defensive positioning, but while still having sight of, a default plant position, especially on this site. Again, even with like things like Sunrise as an example, even if people try and rush for that default on Sofa, you can, send a lot of that utility here, there, and everywhere. Prevent that plant from going down onto Sofa.
I remember when Tachanka's rework was announced, and everyone was like, oh, it's going to be so broken. It just wasn't. In fact, actually, didn't get used that much at all. That is, I don't usually see someone on Repel on Service Door. Drag really looking for that opening kill, almost finds it, but at least gets the information, which he can then use. Now the push coming on through, going to take office first. can open up that warp and still exposed from the main stairs. Melusi getting engaged upon. Stellinia to take out the fairy. No Capital remaining. Angel's going to back off, and now they can contest from security into office. Lost Souls are ticking some of the right boxes, but they're skipping steps. They're skipping the fact that they need to get map control, get flank drones set up. They're going in for one strategy and then getting picked off from angles that they're not really keeping an eye on properly, and they get punished for it.
100%. I mean, again, it's interesting to see so much reliance for me. I just want to reiterate this point on the Thunderbird and the Rook right now. Drake's going to take down Stellina, however. So evening it up even more into a bit of a, well, as they say, like, and Sheeta's going to actually take down Raz as well. Looks like they're setting up for the collapse now, Novi.
Here we go, 45 seconds. So 3 on 4, but they've managed to get quite a wide line of sight that they can utilize to try and pick off any eager defenders. It's Chanka with that LMG just hammering down shots, and that's just going to give more lines of sight into it. But here's the Tachanka, but it's not going to be quick enough on the reads. And Skylia goes down. We're left in a 3v3, and suddenly that 6th defender becomes the 6th attacker. It goes 180 back round. And Gangel's going to try and look through the drone hole. Can't spot out the gun. I think it was a literal pixel on the side of the screen. Ganchilla takes down one. Meep follows through. Yizia flames another, and it's just Drake left, but can't push through the flames. Takes down the Legion. The plant's being stuck. It's not going to be enough, and Lost Souls get their 2nd round on the boards.
That was a close one. Any hesitance then, and that could have been a retake, but no, fair play. Lost Souls winning out and pulling this back more in their favor. I mean, this is the last round for their attack, so again, ideally want to finish this on a 3-3 split, to be honest, Novi. I'm so curious to see how Lost Souls are going to play their defense, especially because they will now know themselves how powerful that Rook and Thunderbird combo is, and we've seen it, in other maps this evening be very powerful, and I'm wondering if Lost Souls will bring something like that themselves. Do you think that's likely?
Could be. I'm having trouble reading this team because there's a lot of time for both these sides. There's operator lineups or something like that, and I'm like, okay, I would pick this in this situation. I was going to touch on it before, but the pulse was something I felt like was missing, especially on the kitchen hold last time, just to more effectively use the night cells because the Valkyrie was taken out through, the banning phase, not literally removed from the game. And it just gives a bit more credence to how the C4s are used and can levy that kind of advantage. The Lost Souls? I don't know. I'm not sure how this team's going to play it. I think they need to just try and match aggression with aggression. Because the Gypsy Queens just comes out with all that confidence. Especially on a map like Coastline. The defenders are just going to get rolled. You need to match them in the gunfights. Or if anything, bring the gunfights to them. And then, wait for their reply once you get an advantage. Even if you lose something, as long as you're gaining and taking away from the attackers, you should be in a more favorable situation. The Izzy is just going to get tickled by one of the attackers.
Tickled indeed. I think this is the kind of interesting thing is like the momentum has been so up and down at points throughout this map so far. Sometimes everyone's being super aggressive, and then other times they're being really cautious. It's like a wave almost. It's going up and down a lot, and I think it's nice that they're going for a bit more of a direct push this time. I think they've certainly obviously adapted to the fact that maybe the vert play isn't the best idea, because even if we down them, they are just going to get immediately healed back up. So we have to just go for the jugular. We have to make sure that when we kill them, there we go. When we kill them, they go down. Drake's going to make sure that Yazia stays down, and Raz is also going to take down Pink Angel. It is now a 5v3. Can Lost Souls get another round on their attack and even this out to a 3v3?
just like that, they go in and out, jump back out, and now because they got so much time, they can use their drones to try and get a little more information. But I like what GYPSY Queens are doing. They're not all sort of deathballing into one position. They've got some width to their hold. They've got the pulse above. They've got the rook playing the long angle down the corridor with, of course, the 1.5 times. Or is it 2 times? I can't remember. And then also, they did have another one as well, but they've gone down. Selenia needed to hit that shot. Drake just completely domes her. And now Skylia, last player standing for the GYPSY Queens. Lost Souls on the verge of bringing it back to a 3-3. And this is kind of disastrous. I think Skylia is just going to yeet off here and go for it. Go for the style points. Try and get something going. It's not going to be enough. Eri gets it. And there we go. A 3-3 scoreline at the half. Could be more equal and more even if we tried.
Do you know what? Like, genuinely, that was really good adaptation from Lost Souls. They were like, absolutely, we cannot do what we did last time because they have that Rook Thunderbird combo. We're going to have to go a bit more for the jugular here. And that's exactly what they did. And it really worked because at that point, the defenders were so spread out. As soon as you start getting that control and people are, upstairs or wherever they need to be, it becomes way harder for them to bring that back down towards site. And a fast collapse like that certainly benefits them. I think that was a really nice read. Really like that. And this is where things are going to get a little bit spicy because obviously we are flipped over now. We're not seeing that Thunderbird Rook combo on the defense. They're choosing to go for a bit more of a kind of well, it looks like, an Intel denial. You've got the Mozzie there. You've got the Arunis. So that's going to, again, be a bit more of a utility dump. The Bandit, I feel, is a little bit wasted here, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the Bandit there, but maybe they're worried about that billiards wall.
Actually, how difficult is that to open up on the VIP wall? Because the changes to the window might make it harder for it to be shot out. I'm not sure it can still be seen from the rooftop, but maybe it does in fact work. I mean, this is more standard. The Aruni Jaeger combination is incredibly popular. Jaeger, because Jaeger always is. An Aruni, fantastic weapon, soft destruction. The gates act as basically a barbed wire, which can also destroy utility. She's just an all-round incredibly strong operator. One of the ones where it's like, you should probably bring this in most scenarios, unless there's something more viable. The Bandit, like you said, not too convinced by that, but at least it's got Night Cell. It could just be for Fairy, because unfortunately she hasn't managed to find a kill yet. Maybe it's the team going, all right, we've got flexibility in the last one. Pick whatever you want. Whatever you want that you feel comfortable with. We trust you that you can deliver on it. And it's the team basically giving a bit of, I don't know, showing faith and showing trust in their teammate to perform. Zia's going to go aggressive in Sunrise. Already, this is feeling very, very different from what we saw before. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade from both these teams, but in very different styles than we saw previously.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's again, I don't really like the gridlock over the Monomad, but again, perhaps that's for the plan. Perhaps the smoke utility is going to come in at some point to help, like, prevent lines of sight from being taken, so that plant can be stuck, potentially in default, but potentially we'll see these smokes be utilized towards the hookah area, which it does appear to be kind of. But no one's there to go for plant yet, so I'm not sure why that has been done. Fairy is going to get downed, however, and finish off with a nice little knife by Skylar. So again, well, as we say that, Rez is going to fall to Pink Angel. It's now a 4v2 Novi. It's looking pretty nice for the attackers right now.
Yep, the GYPSY Queens certainly are in control of the train. I think that smoke was to get the gridlock traps thingers out, as well as try and bait someone to go through the rotation to try and contest it, maybe. I don't know. Seemed to work, though. Gridlock actually managed to get a kill against Shilia, though, completely decimated by Drake. And now in a 2 versus 3, that might have caused a few issues because that Jackal would have been lethal in a 2 versus 4 situation. Thinking at that moment, Iana is approaching from behind. The Toxic Bay is actually going to just miss the Hibana. That is insane. Skylia rotates around to find Drake, finds a second as well. And the Gypsy Queens, they take another round. Looking, although it's very close, they do look strong on their attack.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, a very difficult position for Meep to be left in there, obviously getting a bit distracted by the Ayana, but what can you do in that situation? Of course, if there's pressure from the top of Cool Vibes, you're going to deal with that first as it's the most immediate threat to you. Very difficult situation to be caught in. Wondering if that Cav's going to be stuck, assuming not. Assuming they're going to bring something a little bit spicy here. They are going back to the same site, so we'll see what adaptation they make here. Cap can. Okay, that's fair enough. If you're gonna bring a cap can, yeah, sixing onto it is the play, because again, you're really gonna have to make sure that Lost Souls are going to be Gypsy Queens rather are going to be droning out every nook and cranny of every doorway and window, and make sure that they're not just gonna run in and take half their health. It's such an insane amount of health to be taking off as well, isn't it? Those cap can grabs. It's a little bit spicy.
It's fun that he gets 5 of them as well, but then it's one of those weird gadgets where it's very, very... It's like the Frost maps. It's very, very... when you think about it, it's insanely strong, but also...
Will they, won't they? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's very telegraphed. Like, it requires essentially the attackers to make a mistake to get hit by it, because it's something that's quite easy to spot out in theory if you're keeping an eye on it and you're just monitoring. But you forget once, and then you get punished massively for it. So, despite that, it also, and the really insane amount of damage, it feels quite fair, actually. He does get 5, which is a lot, and what I feel like always gets players is when they're on doors you just wouldn't imagine. It's just on some random door on the other side of the map that just catches them out at the last second. That's what I like. But Fairy is going to get pinged out, so they should have some idea of where the Capcan was roaming. And that might also help them pin down, and, you know, that'll give them the information if they didn't already know that there's a Capcan in play. Whoa, that was lovely by Skylia. There we go, into security. The Mozzie has been completely blown apart. And Gypsy Queens, in the first minute, draw first blood.
And again, a strong opening for them, because... You know, a lot of the times you get that opening pick, it can translate really well into that momentum for the rest of the round, especially again on a map that is pretty attack decided. And Lost Souls are really bringing that, what I will now describe as a sweaty utility setup. I mean, yeah, it has been very spicy, the Thunderbird Rook combo. It's not being brought now. I'm again curious to see if any of these cap cans are going to pay off, though. I can feel it in my jellies, Novi. I feel like at least one might.
Just see if there's any like massive chunk of damage from the attacker suddenly. Oh, Raz, nice aggressive play. Take things into your own hands. Pink Angel. Certainly going to be Angel at this point. Sent right to heaven by Raz. Using a really to good effect, but position vaguely known. The Jackal wide swings. And Shilia going to apply some pressure, but doesn't really have any utility to deal with it. Instead, we'll just win the gunfight. Straight up 45 seconds, and now Gypsy Queens have the advantage. Are they going to win a hooker site push again? It looks that way. Fairy chimes on in. Zelenia not able to convert that kill. The Jaeger is on Cool Vibes as well. 30 seconds. Getting pinked out as they swing around. Fairy goes down before Skylia does as well. So we're in a 1 versus 2. The Jaeger has to find everything. It's not enough. Gypsy Queens dominate once more on the Hooker Billiards defense. Now we're seeing a pause being called.
It's going to be a little bit of a technical timeout there. So welcome back to our radiant faces, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, yeah, Gypsy Queens one more round away from match point. That's really good going. Again, I know I keep talking about it, but it's because it's just always, it's so nice when you see a utility combo starting to come through in a way that just really works, but especially when it really changes how a map is played. And I'm curious to see what would happen if Lost Souls did suddenly decide that, okay, we're going to bring that kind of overheal extra armor combo, and that's going to keep us from, even if we do get a little bit caught out, it's going to keep us alive for a little bit longer. At the same time, I think, yeah, these teams are playing it completely differently on both sides right now. And I think Gypsy Queens have gone a bit more classic, but at the same time, Lost Souls have gone a bit more back to basics with the way that they're doing their defense. So it's working out so well for Gypsy Queens because they can realistically do anything right now, and it's going to benefit them. It would be nice to see if they decided to bring a lion, which I know we have seen already on this map from the side of Lost Souls, but I would like to see what Gypsy Queens would do with a lion right now.
I love lion on this map. Just so good.
Well, exactly. It's like an oldie but a goldie. And I think the way that they are, especially when you have someone kind of solo pushing a balcony, like we saw Genshilia do before, if you've got that lion and that global utility to help you do that solo push, it becomes way less risky because, 9 times out of 10, either you're going to get that ping or you're going to pin them down to a spot so you can go for the pre-fire a lot easier. It's all about those swings, Novi. It's all about those swings.
Swings and roundabouts. Now, Gypsy Queens, they have that momentum going, but they force Lost Souls to pick a different site. So now we're in the kitchen. Seen some different approaches today, mostly on the lateral side of things. Going head on, and it seems to have worked, like genuinely. But we are seeing some of the old hits come into play. The oldie, oh, so disappointed. The oldie and the goldie is certainly that vertical play, and they've brought the sledge, they've brought the buck, and they've just found an opening kill. And of all people, it's on the smoke.
Significantly beneficial kill for the side of Gypsy Queens because that's all that plant denial off the board is also going to really prevent any kind of denial of this push through service. Strike, however, is going to retaliate with a nice little shot on Stelina. So some of that verticality being taken away, but Skylar is going to trade it back onto Eri. Again, they do have the buck still, so yes, they have lost the sledge. So there is soft destruction away, but they've still got the Ash, they've still got all those breaching rounds, they've still got the skeleton key, they've still got technically the secondary on Jackal, depending on what's there.
I mean, should be. Drake's still on this top floor though. She can be the one to bring this level. Ooh, Ash. Going quite low through the floor. Actually tags down Raz quite low. This is going to rotate round to the main stairs. Drake's still up here though. And that could prove significant. Very the only player who's actually on the site, I believe. Everyone else is off there. That's huge. Drake on the flank. It's not being watched. And Drake can now just duck straight through the hatch, back off out. And it leaves Gypsy Queens guessing with a minute remaining. Gypsy Queens have no idea. Raz picks up one more onto Skylia. Now Genshilia and Pink Angel, they looked like they're in such a favorable position, but they've just been outplayed by the flanks. And now Lost Souls is sitting pretty at 45 seconds remaining.
Absolutely, and again, this is a part where they are probably going to have to go for quite an aggressive push into the site immediately. They're going to have to go for the jugular. They're going to have to make that aggressive play. A bit of tentativeness right now. They are going to try and drone it out first, which, yeah, realistically, that's fair enough. But also a rotate towards Sun. So I guess they want to take an opposite angle, but do they have the time to make that? Let's see if they can make it work now, because it is seconds to be wasting.
Oh, Drake. Oh, Drake. Lost souls. Drake just takes no prisoners. Uses that laser beam of a weapon. And like the Gypsy Queens and Lost Souls get their first defensive round onto that scoreboard. They've closed the gap. They're within 1 round of tying. Gypsy Queens looking to take it forward. But the question here for Lost Souls is, you lost on your primary site twice in a row in hooker billiards. Essentially now, you just won on your secondary. Where'd you go for your tertiary? And they've gone for Blue Bar Sunrise. Not opting for hooker again. Will their Blue Bar Sunrise bar be better? I believe in it. I think from their kitchen hold as well, especially with how they played around the flanks, it certainly worked. I'd have liked maybe changing Pink Angel off the gridlock to a nomad. That would be fantastic right now. Don't think the gridlock's just as good for watching the flanks. And I think the line as well. But the Jackal's not bad in this scenario. Genshilia just needs to get more in a position where she can, or at least the team as a whole should be using their drones to identify where the Yoruni is, so then the Jackal knows where to start applying pressure.
I think this is the thing too with like the gridlock. We've seen it a lot, and I think we always have the same thing where we're like, why not a nomad? And yeah, just to kind of clarify for the people at home, it's this idea that if you're bringing the gridlock, you would assume it would mostly be because of the smoke utility, but then you've got the Jackal with the smokes as well, so you're taking 4 smokes. Whereas, you know, if you were then taking a nomad, say if some of those smokes are for clearing of Roonies or ADSs or whatever, if you take the nomad, you've got 3 flashes over 2 smokes. And then at the same time, the track stingers make 0 noise and they just do a little bit of damage. Whereas the nomad air jabs, it's that audio cue, it's that knockdown effect. It's way more prominent to have as a kind of anti-flank utility. And Drake is going to get the opening pick once against Sheila though. Which again, that's very positive for the side of Lost Souls.
And makes the P10 Roni look like a sniper rifle.
You just love that gun.
Oh yeah, I love it. I adore it. I think it's such a... I mean, it's so strong, it's like bordering broken, but like it is just a thing of beauty to watch this like laser beam rattle off and you just see all these heads flying off. It's just amazing. But there we go. There's another trade back though onto the Melusi. Not a big loss, but I believe she was carrying a nitrocell, so maybe a loss of utility. Ooh, not expecting the Ash to hold this position. The pressure coming through. The Jaeger has no right in winning this. Raz, how did you come off with the win there? That should not have gone your way, but somehow it did. Exceptional stuff. And now, Gypsy Queens, the tables have turned. Skyler is going to try and help, though.
Yes, indeed. Putting this down to a 3v3. Drake still in this position upstairs, though, could potentially do a lot of damage if they manage to start making their way down these white stairs towards the lobby. I think realistically the stairs would be a safer option than dropping down that hatch right now. So we'll see what happens with that. But for now, you know, they're going to try and make their way close towards site. I think at the moment they're just trying to bait out these kills from the defense, it would appear. The utility is going to start coming through into Sunrise here to try and go for this execute. Some smoke is going to go down. It looks like they're going to try and go for the sofa plant.
I think so. In a fairly decent spot. Still time. Where are they? What are you doing? Where are you going? That's what it feels like. Oh wait, what? Diana's in. She's just jumped in. I don't think they've noticed. Oh, there's 2.
They haven't.
Big Angel and Skyly are just doing everything. It's just up to the smoke left behind the bar, whipping up a cocktail. But it's just not going to be it. Gypsy Queens, how the hell did you win that one?
Do you know what? I respect it. That's exactly what I want to see on a coastline. I want to see people go, you know what? Let's just go into science. Let's just go for it. Fair enough. Again, I think they were in such different positions then that one of them had to make a play. One of them had to make the shot call and just be like, this is what we're going to do. And fair enough, just jumping through the window and making a play like that. Jump through the window. put that pressure onto the player that's just roaming around couch, and then nice little pinch into Sunrise, essentially, isn't it? And then it's just down to the sledge to clean it up from the back.
I think I can almost guarantee that the comms were like, hey, I think I can jump in. No one replies because they're all focused on their own thing. And you just hear, I'm jumping in. And then Iana just yeets in. And they're like, wait, she hasn't died yet. Go, 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 go. She's in. Go, 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 go. Like, 100% that's what happened there. Like, that's one of those, or at least what to me it looks like is that individual play of seeing an opening and just going for it, and then your team backing you on the play. Just having absolute trust that you're going to be able to use that position effectively. You can rally around you, and it works. Now, Lost Souls, they've lost this site twice. And I haven't even touched it. GYPSY Queens are on map points. So they've gone back to the site that they've lost twice into GYPSY Queens' map points.
Absolutely, and this is where the pressure can really, really start to work to the detriment of the defenders, to be honest. This could be quite nice, though. Eri kind of in the lobby area decides to back off there. I mean, that could have been quite nice then if she chose to stay there, Novi, and get a little bit aggro. Could have been a nice little way to get at least 1 or 2 opening picks. Yes, it's aggressive. Yes, it's dangerous. But I think now is the time for things a little bit outside the box, especially on a map like this.
Hey, still the gridlock. Saw those smokes get used last round, but they weren't really the reason that site was won by GYPSY Queens. And the pings are going out as well, so Strikers once more on this Aruni roaming. Got to highlight areas on that Mozzie. Has the ability to get quite a big flank off. They're playing really wide on that top floor. GYPSY Queens, on the other hand, playing quite wide on the bottom floor. Don't worry, Scully. We'll pretend we didn't see that. It's okay. All right. We'll just pretend the stream didn't see that. Drake, though, might get a rude awakening. Somebody's underneath. Someone's underneath. Someone is under you. Words. Beneath, under, they're synonyms. It's fine. Skylia, though, second try with the frag grenade. No one is there in the corner. Drake's just waiting patiently. Oh, but she might be about to swing that corner.
Certainly, and I think these are the really tense moments where it does become a little bit of a standoff, because one of them has to swing, one of them has to make that push. And there we go, it's going to be Drake, and they are actually going to get taken out because Yazia, Patience of a Cobra in the grass, is going to take her down, the opening pick for this round. But it's only 40 seconds on the clock, and the collapse is not there yet. It can be, but they really have to up their trousers right now and run for it. They really have to go Novi, and Pink Angel is going to take down Fairy and South 5v2. But again, 20 seconds on the clock. X-Kairos opening up that billions wall. Plant has to go soon. That execute needs to come through. Time is of the essence. Raz is going to fall. Will this be a round win based on kills alone? Meep taken down by Ganshila. And there we go. A flawless end to this map of Coastline for the side of GYPSY Queens.
And they get their first win. I mean, I know it's only 2 play days, but I can't wait until we show everyone the leaderboard at the end of the day, because it is all over the place with today's games. Congratulations, GYPSY Queens, on getting their first win. Commiserations to Lost Souls Esports ladies. Unfortunately, they take another loss and will move to the bottom of the leaderboard. It's unfortunate, but they did show some very good signs. They showed that they can understand the fundamentals and the meta. GYPSY Queens, though, gotta bring that, the seasoning with that Rook Thunderbird combination. I mean, it's like when you go to, you order I don't know, like a pizza or a sandwich, and someone with you joins in the order, and you look at that and go, "What? Who puts those items together?" And it's like you try it and you're like, "Oh my god, this is quite tasty," So I'm really curious to see how they came up with that one.
Yeah, I think okay. I think I know what you mean. I mean, realistically, it's kind of like a more OP version of the good old fashioned dock over heel situation. Again, I like it a lot. I really do like it. I think it reminds me of some similar old setups of like Rook and Dock and things like that, but on any map really. And again, it's the way that it's completely changed up how Coastline was ultimately played because you know, it is usually an attacker-sided map, and we saw on Gypsy Queen's defense so many times that people were down and just immediately brought back to life again, and that completely changed the momentum of how those site pushes were done. And speaking of Gypsy Queens, I mean, they have just won a significant dominant victory there, so we are going to get Yazia on the show here to talk to us. Hello.
Hello.
Congratulations on your first win for the season.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
We were just discussing the kind of Thunderbird Rook combo that really came in clutch a number of times, especially on those kitchen sites when you're dealing with that kind of verticality from upstairs. A number of people getting down and just immediately brought back to life. That is something that was very exciting to watch, and I'm sure as a player that must be quite nice to have that extra little bit of utility and that extra setup, and essentially you have completely changed the way that map was played because of it.
Uh, First of all, I just want to say I'm not really good at English, but
Okay, no worries.
you speak a little bit fast.
Okay, no worries.
I'm so sorry.
No
It's
worries.
the energy.
Yeah.
It's the energy levels. It's because we were excited for the game. It was entertaining. I did want to ask, last week you unfortunately lost
Yeah.
7-1. It was a tough game. What changed between then and now?
For me, it's Skylia. For us, Skylia is who leading game. We are not a real team. We are just a team of friends, and that's why we have some difficulty to play together. But for me, Skyla makes a difference because she can shot call, and she can tell us we need to play here, we need to play here after. We need to plant here, and it's really important for us, I think. And she makes a difference.
Oh, I love that. I really love that. So yeah, I suppose we're just going to ask you the same question that we have asked everyone this evening, which is there a team that you're very excited to play against?
Yeah, we are playing against this team. Sorry, as a qualification, and they was really strong, and we can see at this match they was really strong too, and we are really excited to play against all this team because all team are really good teams, and that's it.
No worries. It must be exciting to get a win, and of course, is there any nice message you want to give to your fans?
Just thank you for watching the stream. Thank you for you, the casters. Thank you everyone for everything. That's it.
Okie dokie. Well, have a great night. Have lots of celebrating. Get on the Uber Eats.
Thank you. Great.
Pet the cat. Pet the cat.
Oh, we do love it. I love the interviews, to be honest. It's really nice to kind of put names to faces and things like that with a lot of these teams. It's something that we didn't really get to see much of until Project Athena. So I really like this the way that Project Athena are doing this. And again, thank you so much to Opportunity League and Jesco for putting this together. And thank you again to the sponsors, XMG and 1000 Dreams Fund.